From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday, and it's a big holidays, LA here, direct and live from Santa Monica, California, with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we go over the incredible great news. As a Zoom chat was held Tuesday with Joe Manchin and all the Senate Democrats in attendance, and they said they're doing that recon. Together as a team, they came together and put all differences aside and agreed they're going to do that recon in January. In fact, they ain't removing anything across the board. In fact, they're adding things in there. In this incredible recording, we're going to go over this incredible recon that's heading back on to the finish line. The incredible checks in this recon will pay a lot, upwards of $15,000, and it's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. We're going to go over the breaking news that's brand new at noontime today, starting right now. First, those incredible checks will get passed. A fourth stimulus recon will get passed in the month of January. So says the Democratic caucus in an agreement on a Zoom chat Tuesday, revealed today. Second, the checks that are in there are staying in there. So you're going to get at least a lot of checks. And the senators vow to add more checks in there across the board. I'll go over what were the new items they want to add in there and what they haven't finished and what they haven't started. Meantime, no time to wait for January 4th and 5th stimulus. Time to get third stimulus, your holiday, your Christmas stimulus right now. And viewers are cleaning up, getting on average about $5,000 in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to show you how to get those big checks right now to get those holiday meals, to get that holiday gifts. Big Christmas stimulus available. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness in just a blink of an eye. And then, of course, over to the excitement of this stimulus that Colo raise. I'll have my insight about what's going on with that recon, my insight about what's happening with the Federal Reserve next year in view of the expansion of the variant across the board in recent days. But you know what the name of this show is? It's Holidays LA. And in the second half of this recording, we're going to go over how to bake it up with lots of fruits. We're going to go over the deliciousness of whether it's a mango or whether it's a beautiful blueberry, blackberry, or raspberry. What brings it? And you bring it in the live chat. Start posting your comments in the live chat right now. What items do you like to bake with or cook with when it comes to fruits during the holiday season? I'll be jumping the live chat because guess what? You know what show this is. It's the excitement of Holidays LA. And happy holidays, everybody. Your fourth stimulus recon is going back to the finish line. And that finish line will be in January with $15,000 of checks across 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. We're going to go over each of those checks right now. The first cluster has in there hazard pay for essential workers, earned income tax credit for 1 more year. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 to care for young children, got it in there as well. $550 check for the Pell Grant, got it in there. Home repairs if you live in a low-income community, and $12,500 $12,500 for the purchase of your first home. Wow. Excuse me. I did that again. Not $12,500 for the first home, for the new electric car. That went home is $12,000. There you go. The first add-on comes from illustrious Maxine Waters. She wanted to give you $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. It's a little bit less, but it sure ain't $1,200. It's funny. And coming up later today, we're going to show you how to buy a new electric house as well. It's just one of those days. Home repairs and paid leave is in the second cluster. In that second cluster, we also have in there the household tax credit and also the pre-kindergarten. These home repairs are for individuals who need to weatherize their home. People have been sending me comments saying, LALATE, you know, the weather is very horrible where we are. Stop showing us a surfboard. Here's some more surfing. So with that, yeah, did I listen? I did not listen. $250 billion got in there for Bob Casey for your home health care and also for people on disabilities. It's incredible. Let's turn to the third cluster checks. Third cluster checks has seniors and free internet. What's in that third cluster? Free school meals for all checks, tax-paid checks, also the cheaper prescription medication. The money for the farmers, the free internet, also the money for the seniors that comes in two parts, House versus Senate. Senate and House. First, the House got in there two provisions, which are lowering the eligibility, which are the Medicaid gap fix, and also the vision. The senators are vowing to add three other provisions on top of that for the seniors, and that is dental, vision, and also the Medicaid gap, the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to as low as 55. That would bring 5 items for my seniors across the board. Now, when we're talking about MSC, it's much the same case, because guess what? In the last 2 weeks, the reason why you haven't heard about senators adding in anything is because all we've heard is Real Housewives of West Virginia. Starring role, Joe Manchin, and supporting role, Joe Biden. And that is why we haven't heard any substantive add-ons, because they haven't had time to get into it. Now they're getting to it next. And those add-ons could potentially include that MSC. What does MSC stand for? It stands for multiple IRS stimulus check. There's multiple checks this RECON. Lots of them. They'll pay you at least $15,000, upwards of $50,000. But we differentiate this one as the one that's sent out by IRS. Back in the month of May, legislators told viewers of this channel they are going to do this, and they told thousands of viewers across the board. But 2 weeks ago, we re-advocated, and we were told again it's going in there. From Janet being told that message from Chuck Schumer's office via Bernie Sanders. Same message to Donnie and his wife Sharon from Ron Wyden's office. Same message to Bonnie from Liz Warren's office. Same message to Lynn Glenn from Chris Coon's office. Same message to Tyrell from Bob Casey's office. It's important for you to advocate. Now, when they're talking about MSC, what are they talking about? $1,000 the first month, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months is what they've mentioned. And they've mentioned same eligibility as a third stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 or less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And if you own benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, you got it as well. It's not income. It's not taxable. And it comes nationwide and nationally. It is not a state stimulus. And it's offered for adult dependents and even for people on benefits across the board. But it's important for you to advocate for its inclusion, because guess what? That RECON is now at the edge of the finish line. And even at the edge of the finish line, it's not over it. So it's important to advocate to those senators. And who do you advocate to? You want to advocate to those same 6 senators who have represented, they would put it in there. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Pick up the phone and speak to their staff. Don't use the word MSC. Use simple language like stimulus check. And speak to them. At worst, leave a voice message. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, what is new at noontime that I want to go over with you? So, Leader Schumer, yesterday, we learned today, did have that Zoom chat. All throughout Tuesday and Monday, I said there was going to be a Zoom chat on Tuesday with Democratic senators. I said, I don't know if Joe Manchin's going to show up. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what's going to turn out. Well, and I also said, I don't know which Joe Manchin's showing up. It was Tuesday's Joe Manchin. Tuesday's Joe Manchin was not Sunday's Joe Manchin. Last Sunday, Joe Manchin appeared on Fox News on an early sunrise interview. And he said, as the fourth stimulus RECON, if it shows up at the Christmas party, I'm not opening the door. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see about it. I don't want to talk about it. That was Sunday's Joe Manchin. Monday's Joe Manchin was, if the Fourth Stimulus recon shows up at the Christmas party, I'll let him in, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to serve it food. You have to check back with me. Check back with me at Easter, whether I like this recon or not. It was just sort of this evasive answer he always sometimes defaults to. That Joe Manchin. So which Joe Manchin showed up on Tuesday? The Joe Manchin I've always told you ultimately prevails. The Joe Manchin who says, no, 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 no. Okay, I'll vote yes. I always tell you this. And that's why I love you to death as a viewer and as a family, because last Sunday you reacted to the Sunday news about, yeah, that's the Sunday Joe Manchin. I know that Tuesday Joe Manchin is going to show up because he always does, where he ultimately says he's going to do it. So, Zoom chat happened yesterday with Democratic senators called by Chuck Schumer. Only Democrats, only senators. Did Chuck Schumer ask Joe Manchin to show up? Yes. Did Joe Manchin show up? He did. And what did Chuck Schumer do? Only what Chuck Schumer can pull off. He did it artfully, politely, respectfully, and had Joe Manchin go first. Explain, Senator Manchin, what happened on Sunday. Explain your position right today. Now, if you're a viewer of this channel, member, subscriber, you know probably what might have happened even before I even tell you. The real Joe Manchin showed up. The Tuesday Joe Manchin showed up. It says, I'll do the recon. I was just telling you no for 20 months. And that's certainly what happened. He showed up and he says, you know what, fellow senator, fellow Democrats, I love this recon. I've always said I love this recon. Andrew! He says, my position today on Tuesday is the same position it was this weekend. It has always been, Andrew! Should we roll the tape, Joe? Needless to say, I'm happy. I'm happy it's the Tuesday Joe Manchin that showed up, not the Sunday Joe Manchin. He said, my position has always been I want to pass the recon. Well, except when Fox News books you on Sunday morning. It's a little bit different. And his position is always, I want to do the recon. We're going to do the recon. We're going to do it in January. I want to do the recon, and I want to add more stuff to the recon. Really? Okay, I loving this Joe Manchin. This was the Joe Manchin, I told you always shows up at the end. The guy who wants to do everything will show up, will support his fellow Democrats, and will pass the body of legislation together. So, first of all, very fascinating part of the Zoom chat was he did not come in with a chainsaw and put it to paid leave. Did not come with a chainsaw and put it any provision for fact. And I expected that to happen. It didn't. He didn't say, remove this, cut this, add up to that. He didn't, even though I expect him to do that. And he should do it because the provisions aren't right. But what did he do? He said, I have a tow truck behind me. I have a lot of stuff I want to add to this recon. Because you haven't considered my thoughts, I want to add stuff to this recon. Because I've been left out of the party. Okay, Joe. So long as when you park the tow truck, you don't take my parking spot. We're fine. So what did Joe Manchin want to add in there? He wanted to add in more corporate taxes, more wealth tax, more rich person's taxes, more tax disbursement, more tax enforcement, more tax this. He wants to generate more income for the U.S. population and the U.S. economy. Okay, Joe, we're good with that. Just so long as you don't touch my MSC, we're good. Wow. Just surprising. And this is why I always tell my viewers, when things are changing quickly, stay here. I told you last week that it was a quick changing news cycle, that if you missed a recording, you're going to get confused. Let me just tell you. Today is, middle of the week. Let's say you show up at the end of this week, you haven't watched any of the videos this week, and you say, but I saw Joe Manchin on Sunday on Fox News. I know the situation. You aren't being honest with us. No, you missed the Monday interview by Joe Manchin. He says, I'm undoing Sunday. And the Tuesday Zoom interview, the Zoom chat, which is now a complete reversal of Sunday. And I predict this was going to happen, because this always happens with Joe Manchin. So, what are we looking at for January, and what needs to get done, what should get done, and what must get done? Okay, first of all, and this is my commentary that I'm asserting. If you know holidays, LA, it's a jam-packed show. It starts with this and then cuts over to a holiday theme. Where do I think they have to do certain things in January? First, they gotta have Chuck do the show, call the show, run the show, and leave everyone else out that is not a senator. So, number one, Pramila Jayapal needs to zip it and just stay in Northern California and go to lunch with Nancy Pelosi all day. The House members need to stay out of this, because they are doing no help. First, Pamela Jolapal this week, she got a phone call from Joe Manchin. He didn't know who to call. He didn't have my number. You could have called me, Joe. I would have gone out and, done some, what do they do in West Virginia? Toss coal? I would have done some coal tossing with you. You could have called me, but he didn't. He called Pamela Jolapal, and she just treated him horribly. She ran her mouth to the press, called him every name in the book, and said he doesn't keep his promises. How about you, honey? You never put that MSC in there. Then Nancy said Chuck needs to just pass the recon that the House passed. No, you don't. The House recon is in error. It needs to be fixed. So they need to stay out. The last group that needs to stay out of is the hardest group to keep out of it, and that is Brian Deasy and his Yaleys from the White House. They need to stay out of it. If you've been with this channel since October, you know that when there were votes happening in the House with Nancy and co., the White House staff would show up in Chuck Schumer's office and be in rooms with Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, and Chuck Schumer. Now, we know over the weekend Joe Manchin spoke about these staffers. I have a comment about them. What the world are you doing showing up in the Senate? You are House staffers. You're White House staffers. Stay in the White House. Stay over in Pennsylvania Avenue. Do not come in the Senate chambers, Senate offices. Who do you think you are? You're not a senator. You're a staffer. You're a government employee. You're not even a cabinet member. Some of you aren't even cabinet members. You're just a staffer. You're an advisor. Economic advisor is not a staffer. You're not appointed. You're not confirmed by. So they have been messing into everyone's business. They need to stay out. Here's why they need to stay out. Not just a personality issue. It's a substantive issue. The substantive issue is, and I'm going to jump in the live chat right now, vote yes or no when I ask this question. Do you want to give unborn children, who at the time of this recording at 11:20 have not been born yet, do you want to give unborn children who are born, let's say, after the show is aired, $60,000 over the next 20 years? Yes or no? Jump in the live chat right now and answer your questions. And if you want to put an answer, an expression after the yes or no, I'll read it on air as well. Welcome, Julie Williams, to the family. Actually, Julie Williams with the dancing pair. Thank you, Julie Williams, with the dancing pair. I really appreciate that. Would you give $60,000 to unborn children? My position is no. And I believe your position is no. Why? Because, one, you're not getting $60,000. Two, you're alive. The kid is not here yet. Number three, you don't want your taxes to pay for someone who's unborn and for $60,000. There's a lot of no's coming on, and here they come. Olivia, Joyce, Bob Bacon, Dragon, absolutely no. There's Arlene and Beverly, and there's Diane and Joyce as well. Absolutely no. This is all the doings of the White House. What's going on? The White House idea on day one was to make President Joe Biden pass a body of legislation that would last generations to come, decades to go on, and would look like something we haven't seen since the Great Deal, the Great Depression. It ain't happening. And that was going to cost $7 trillion, 20-year programs. They offered it to the Democratic senators. They said no. Then they said, okay, we'll do 10-year programs at $3 trillion. They said no. Then they said, we'll do 1-year programs at 1.9 trillion. Okay, yes. And then when they got the legislation, they looked at it and said, this ain't 1 year, folks. This is 20 years. You just changed the phrasing. You're trying to trick us. People you don't trick. Joe Manchin. He knows his numbers. He knows his words. You don't trick him. He's not a mathematician, but he knows numbers, and he read it. Who do you not trick? Me. Who else do you not trick? The Congressional Budget Office. They're a nonpartisan organization. They looked at it. They said, this is 20 years. This ain't 1 year. So viewers in the live chat right now are saying no. No, yet, says John Thompson. And nope, says Ronald Trout as well. There's Lisa, and there is a Dragon. $60,000 for an unborn child. Incredulous. It's incredulous. So this is what the White House is doing. These staffers are coming in and trying to mess up stuff. And if they stay out of everything, Chuck Schumer will get it done. I have full faith and honor and respect to the leader from New York. You ain't going to play games with a New Yorker. You ain't going to play games with a New Yorker. If he sees it's 20 years, he's going to say, go out to Times Square and get yourself a hot dog and come back when you fix this. That's what he's going to say, because it needs to be fixed. And so when would this go to modification? This is what's new. New at noontime. New at holidays right now. Totally different than yesterday. This is why you have to watch every single video of this channel, because I know it's going to say, you said, well, the situation changed. Let me tell you what's different than what I said yesterday. Yesterday, I said, well, you need to call the vote, because if you call the vote, then you put pressure Joe Manchin, and he'll do this and he'll do that. And you modify the vote on the floor of the House, the Senate, and then you do a vote-a-rama. Remember all that talk I did yesterday? Well, guess what? Don't need it anymore. Why? Joe Manchin's accommodating. Joe Manchin says, let's just modify this together as a group right now, and we'll modify it on the next few days, and we'll get it done, and we'll be called for a vote. Well, thank you. So we don't have to do any of this, pressure him on C-SPAN and air it live on air. And no, he doesn't want to do it. Perhaps he watched me and said, I don't want to have that happen. He said, I want his scone recipe, but I don't want that to happen. And Joe Manchin says, no, we'll just modify the language together as a family and modify the provisions, add them in there, and we'll get it done, and then we'll call the vote together as a family. Who did he kiss under the mistletoe to be? That's come Joe Manchin, number 2. Number 3, Tuesday, Joe Manchin was Epiphany. Wonderful. And your overwhelming comments in the live chat was no. They do not want to. Gene Sykes says, LALATE. No, absolutely. Do not want to do that. Absolutely. The second half of this video, we're going to go over more about this. But here's what you need to know. Is that, 1, the forced stimulus recon is going to become a law in January. Number 2, that everything that's in there from the House, that's $15,000 of checks, it's staying in there. That Joe Manchin wants to add more in there. A lot of the provisions that may have been in jeopardy, like paid leave, may still stay in there. And then we do not have the Senate add-ons yet in there. So Ron Wyden, he has a big tow truck. He wants a big U-Haul truck of stuff he wants to add in there. Bernie has the 3 provisions for the seniors, the dental, the vision, the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. We have a lot of people who are senators who want to add stuff in there. And of course, they haven't added in the MSC yet either. So not 15,000, likely a lot more across the board. A lot of commendations and applauds to the viewers. First, I want to applaud you for how you responded to Sunday's news, because 1, you were educated, 2, you were informed, and 3, you were ready to pounce. You knew that this Sunday Joe Manchin was not the real Joe Manchin. You know he always says no, and then votes yes. So you didn't go out and buy a cemetery plot on Sunday because you said, no, I'm going to give a few days. I guarantee he changes, and he did. Number 2, I love the viewers who keep on saying, LA, tell me more about third stimulus. Give me more money for third stimulus. Show me more money for grants. People sending me private messages. People reaching out to the volunteers. That's the focus. 2021 has been a transformative year for you and this channel, because there was so much damage caused before I came on the scene to fix it. The damage caused in 2020 were people telling you what date to focus on receiving something between Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi. And I said, who taught you this? We ain't doing this on my channel. We ain't doing this here. We ain't doing this on LA. This is about financial independence, making you more money, making you a better person, making you keep more money in the bank, making you more money as a business owner, making you more money across the board. And I said, starts by grabbing any wads of cash that are available. The concept of third stimulus today as holiday stimulus is the following. There's a wad of cash in your wallet to pay the December rent. Let's say you don't have to take a wad of cash out of your wallet, out of your pocket to pay the December rent. It stays there because someone walks up to you and says, I'm going to pay it for you. Okay, so now I don't have to take that $1,000 out of my pocket. I'll just spend $100 for that gift I want to buy my daughter. Yeah, then let's say someone walks up to you and says, you know that $400 you have in your other pocket for the utilities? Don't take it out. I'm going to pay the utility bill for you. Go spend it on your family for a holiday meal. Well, thank you. That's the concept of third stimulus. Financial independence, getting as much money paid for of you across the board. Now, you're going to see me throughout today's recordings give you a little bit of a tougher love statement, because we've come so far, and I don't want anyone to bring us back. In 2020, I said we're not tracking checks, we're cashing checks. In 2021, I would say almost 90% of us got refocused, understood, grab the third stimulus in the spring, grab it in the summer, grab it this week. And the great people like Mei Lu, who heard my recording where I said, you know what, there's 2 more things you can get for third stimulus. I'm going to tell them to you right now. She got that extra money. What is it? Go through your utility bills and look and see which months you got paid from who. If you are missing one of your utility bills being paid on the third stimulus, go get it paid right now. Next, make a note of which months that utility was paid for by who. So let's say it's electric that was paid November, December from organization number one. Well, go get organization number two to pay it for January, February, March. If you know how much your utility bill is every month, one of them, then you know how much money that would put in your wallet. Let's say it's $400. Well, let's say you get 2 months of it, $800. And that's just one utility. Let's do it with two utilities. That's $1,600. Bam, $1,600 in your wallet. You don't have to pay it back. It's not a loan. It's free money. That's how we rock and roll. Same thing with the rent. Get this money further months in the future. May Lou heard my messaging. She was at $5,000. She got an extra $700. This is usually, when it's 2 months of things, it's usually about another $700. 46 months of rent is what the viewers have averaged out for this round, this month. 2 utilities, but I'm saying they're averaging 2 utilities, so it shows you they can do better. They can do 3 utilities, 4 utilities. Finally, the 10%, the 5% of the viewer that shows up and sends me and jumps in the live chat or sends me a DM on social media saying, okay, I heard the good news about Joe Manchin. So what date are they voting in January? To the door. Stand in the corner. Go stand in the corner. You are going to stand in the corner for 20 minutes and think about what you just said. You know what I'm about to say. Is that I'm on a set here, and behind curtain number 1 is a wad of cash for third stimulus. You're not going and getting that cash. You're not getting that cash. You're waiting to a month out to January to say, let me pencil in that date in January when there's a vote, because that's when I'm going to go look at the mailbox. No, you're not going to do that on this channel. 90% of the viewers have left that back to 2020. You haven't even done it in 2021. You sure ain't bringing it in 2021, 2022. By 2022, I want us to be donut free. Donut free. Don't mean eating the donut. I mean that behaviorism in which you say, when is the thing landing? What date is the vote? That's a person who's uninformed, uneducated, not focusing, becoming financially independent, and is going from check to check to check. And guess what? The viewer who got $45,000 from third stimulus when it became law in the spring, they got $45,000. It lasted them several months. The viewer who wasn't a viewer who got a $1,400 stimulus check, it was gone in 4 days. 3 days it was gone. The viewer who got $5,000 for this Christmas stimulus, this third stimulus this week, it's going to cover them from now. Some of the viewers got the money into February, March. It's going to cover them throughout at least this month, maybe next month as well. The viewer who's waiting around to figure out, let me pencil in the date for January with Chuck and Joe Manchin. No, that viewer ain't going to get anything because they're just penciling things. Throw away the calendar. Let's try not to use a calendar. Let's try to focus on grabbing all those checks. The second half of this video, I'm going to go over how to deliver deliciousness during the holiday season with fruits. And jump in the live chat right now. Tell me the fruits you like to bake with or cook with, and what do you cook them with? Whether it's proteins, meat, potatoes, or vegetables, or fish, or breads and your carbs. I'm going to go over starting with the baking process, then we'll go over the roasting process. Those details and more coming up at the commercial break. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica. on LALATE. And the excitement continues with the second half starting right now. How are you? Happy holidays. So, it's that holiday season, and we have covered vegetables, we have covered breads, and we've even covered some proteins. But how about the fruits? A lot of different ways to bring fruits to the baking process. And during the commercial break, before the commercial break, I asked you, what do you cook, roast, or bake with in the fruits family, and what works? If you haven't posted your comments, jump in the live chat, because I'm going to jump in with you in just a second. So here's some deliciousness that I brought on set that I happen to just have around me, and I'm going to go over my recommendations across the board. Here's a beautiful mango. They were on sale here about a week ago, so I got a lot of them. Beautiful. I understand this is not available in the snow-covered countries of the Midwest, but we're growing them here in Southern California, at least in certain environments. Incredible mango. What can you bring the mango for? It is among the tropicals, and much like a nectarine or a mango, it has the same ultimate purpose. First, it can go in the salad. Really go right deliciousness in the salad. Mangoes and this sort of crunchy textured kumquat, nectarine type fruits, you don't want to cook them down. That mannerism in which they are right now is perfect. So throw it in the salad at the very 11th hour. Dress up the proteins as a side on. Just throw it right in there. You can dice it, you can julienne do it, or you can just quarter it and just throw it right on top of your proteins. Really surprised. People say, what is that? That's just a little bit of a mango vinaigrette on the side. Maybe you want to juice just a little bit of it and make a little puree, and then drizzle some of the crunches of it on top. Really wonderful, because guess what? It has a sweetness, a savory, and it gives a great texture imbalance to something like a protein, fish or meat that you didn't expect. People would always go with their creams and their mushrooms and then suddenly there's a mango puree on top of that. Really quite wonderful. Let me jump in the live chat and see some of your comments before I take it into the next level. What type of things do you like to bring when bringing those fruits into the deliciousness? Let me jump into the live chat with you right now. Baked my ham with pineapple, says Lisa. Ah, pineapple. Really great multi-purpose item. Pineapple's absolutely wonderful. Here's another there's two people. There's a whole pineapple people in here. There's Susie Hampton. Baked ham with pineapple rings and maraschino cherries. Oh, that is a good twosome. So I like the pairing that Susie's doing. She's doing a very different taste bud reaction, because when you cook that pineapple, it's going to have a different reaction than the cherry. Now, in this case, I assume Susie's cooking it. That's how I would do it. Bake the ham with the pineapple, she says, and the maraschino cheese. Here's Lisa. She also would cook the ham with the pineapple. John says vodka, banana, and rum. Oh, so I guess he's putting in the drinks. I like fruit salads with peaches and nectarines, says Lisa. And talking about the pineapple upside down cake. Yeah, and actually, I think we were talking about this in the live chat yesterday. Crayola putting his fruits on the sushi. So long as the Crayola is not on the fruits. Pomodoro balls. I don't know what that is. Cinnamon apple cider. Oh, that's a whole other universe. There we go. Bob Bacon. I think we need a beverage episode, don't we? We need a beverage episode. We haven't done one in a while. So Bob Bacon bringing the cinnamon apple. Cobbler. Cobbler. I read that wrong. So cinnamon apple cobbler, really wonderful. That is in the dessert universe. Beautiful, really great. Strawberry cake, says Crayola Sushi. Wonderful. Teresa says, I love some upside down pineapple cake. Yeah, very, very popular item. Oh, there's John Thompson. I'm obsessed with, I'm so fascinated with upside down cakes. Best lunch nicely ever done. How about Oregon? Bobby Smith, Oregon. I don't know. I don't know about the fruits and vegetables in Oregon. And are we talking about fruit today? We are talking about fruit today. Yes, if you just joined the live chat and you just joined in and you missed it, we are now talking about how to bring the fruits of the season into the holiday meals. So we start with the mango, and we're pushing into the nectarines, how to really dress up things. We're not actually cooking it into the process. But then viewers brought in the wonders of pineapple, whether it's the ham or the pineapple upside down cake. Certainly great for the baking process. Let's jump in more into the live chats. Coconut drizzled berries and bananas. So Bob Bacon is definitely delivering the desserts in today's episode. Really quite wonderful. Lisa, I noticed you voided my comment, didn't you? No, I have my hand on the mouse. I have a mango here. And I have, coming up next, some berries. So no, I have no time to void someone's comments. Now, if you do post certain comments that are word prohibited, they will not appear on the channel. So it's sort of, I'm not going to tell you what the words are. But no. Let's go into some more of the comments. All fruits and peaches or nectarines. Wonderful. So one of the next ways to really dress it up wonderfully during the holiday meals, and we were talking about yesterday on the scones episode, where we're talking the baking episode. Yesterday was all about baking. Was the blueberries, the blackberries, the raspberries. Here are some wonderful blueberries and blackberries. These are actually blueberries here from Southern California. So blueberries just so multi-purpose. I really like them in the baking process. I love them in a pancake. Love them in a pancake. Maybe the next morning, Christmas morning breakfast, Christmas Day morning breakfast. Put some blueberries in the pancake mix. Of course, homemade pancake mix, not store bought. Just deliciousness. But also consider it in all your baking, whether it's a scones or any of your breads you're making, your loaves. Just throw it in there. Meantime, try to be inventive. I always like to be inventive in the kitchen. Try to consider bringing some of your berries, cherries, blackberries, all your different berry type fruits into some of your poultries, fishes, and also your meat your meat servings, because you may be surprised what you get across the board. Brenda Littleton, cream cheese cake with strawberry or cherries. Wonderful. Bob Bacon, cantaloupe and mango wedges. Yeah, now you have to be careful about how you're having your meal. Because when Bob's talking about a mango as a wedge, sort of hard, depending on the age of the people at the party for certain people's teeth. So you may, first of all, if it's a sit down and they have fork and knife, yeah, wedge will work. If it's a past hors d'oeuvre or stand-up party or an informal gathering, maybe you're watching a football game, the wedge may be a little bit different. If it's a noshing environment where we're sort of noshing, whether it's vegetable dips, that would work. But very, very, you have to be always considerate of how you have reduced the item down to its size based upon the purpose of the party. But great advice. What about strawberries, Russell Ward? Yes, absolutely. Strawberries, wonderful. Just great. You know, certain things I don't like to proclaim my allegiance to when they're frozen, but strawberries are great frozen. The frozen fruits, especially strawberries, are wonderful, and they can do a lot of stuff. Anne says, I love berries in my garden salad. Yes. Lisa Vaughn says, I love a raspberry. Vanessa says, happy holidays from Lexington, Kentucky. How are you, Vanessa? How are you? Cream cheese. Wow. It always goes back into the cheeses on the comments, doesn't it? Here is Dragon. Blueberry pancakes, then drizzle some mango syrup. Yummy. Wow. So I dare not ask, but Dragon, do you make your mango syrup or do you buy it? Because I've never seen make mango syrup to buy. Needless to say, I was on Amazon just before recording, and I was looking up something, and there were just syrups for everything I never knew about. There's a syrup for this, a syrup for that. I'm like, where did all these syrups come into the society? There's all these stories about how, maple syrup is in shortage in Canada and Vermont. So I guess that's what they're doing with other type of syrups. Russell Ward, what about raspberries? Yeah, Russell berries. Russell Ward asking about Russell berries. Yeah, I don't know. It tastes like a donut. Blueberries, yum. Strawberries, yum. Cherries, yum. Says Teresa. She loves it all. Loves everything in there. Canned fruits. Curb cube fruits and then plastic swords through them. Oh, I like that. I like that. I don't know if I like the presentation, but it depends because I like to look down on the bowl and have the presentation. Presentation of fruit is a whole other situation across the board. So going back to the cooking process, I mean, I really recommend when you're going to do your holiday shopping at the market, get yourself, if you see berries and they're well priced, grab them. If they're raspberry, blueberries, blackberries, grab them, bring them home, taste one, bite into one, see how it tastes, and then see it's a little too bitter. I don't think it'll work in this loaf I'm baking. It'll bring too much bitter in this. It's a perfect pairing to this entree I'm doing. I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna drizzle on the side. Maybe if I sweeten it up a little bit, it'll go to the other direction. You'd be surprised because a lot of times we buy these things and we bring them home and it really doesn't achieve the purpose. I've been one many times where I bought blueberries and then tried, I'm like, I should have bought the raspberry because the blueberry doesn't do it, the raspberry does it. We all sort of think everything is sort of universal for flavoring, whether it's raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, and you bring it home, you're like, what did I do here? So don't cheat yourself out of spending $20 in gas going to the market. Just spend the extra $1.50 for an extra one of those cartridges to get that extra item across the board. Let me jump back in the live chat right now. Waffles with iced mango and coconut syrup with macadamia nuts. Have you gotten heavy just watching the show today? Have you gained 5 pounds just by watching the show? And it was with waffles and iced mango and coconut syrup with diced macadamia nuts. That just sounds deliciousness. You guys making me hungry, says Palmyra. Here's Bob Bacon. Fruitcakes are always can double as paperweights as door openers. Just great comments coming in across the board. Blueberry muffins, Charlotte. Yeah, there's nothing better than a blueberry muffin. I'm sorry. As a person who lived many years in New York, and you go down to that diner downstairs that sells muffins with the coffee, and you would try the corn muffin and the blueberry. The corn and the blueberry were always the best. The chocolate was just going to put you in a coma. But the corn muffins in New York and the blueberry muffins when you wake up, and it just had that sort of that cakey dough feeling at the top. You would never make this yourself. You know you would never make it yourself because it's just too rich and decadent. You're like, this is just too decadent. But when you see that rightly prepared blueberry muffin that has that soft, gooey cake flavor on the top and has clearly a lot of cake flour in its base, all white flour, very lightly baked very, very slowly. You're just, I'm in food coma. Food coma has just happened here. That's John Thompson. John Thompson says, food coma is coming on in. Crayola. Food coma coming up. Where's Calendar Colleen? Calendar Colleen, mark the calendar. We'll be in food coma in about 20 seconds. Here's Lisa. Put your fruit salad in a watermelon boat and dress it up in the table. Yes, Anna, you're listening. Here's Lisa with a fruit watermelon boat. Put it aside the zucchini boat. No Doja Cat videos with boats driving through the music video. We're doing watermelon boats today. No zucchini boats. Now I have something to think about. Thank you. You're having me starving, LA. I appreciate that, Palmyra. Yeah. If you don't know, the show airs on replay in dinner time. So if you never have an appetite, watch this show that also replays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as Holidays, Street, and Stimulus. If you don't have an appetite after this show, you never will. Oh my God, I thought this was for stimulus update, not about food. Debbie. The first half is about stimulus. The second half is about food. That and about the holidays. That's why the title of the show is holidays. That's why this thing under my face is holidays. And yeah, it's been that way for over a year. What will we talk about next? Nuts? Bob Bacon. Well, we haven't covered beverages. We have a lot to cover. I don't know. I literally think about topics 10 seconds before going on camera. So that's why we always keep it fresh. Pumpkin muffins with chocolate chips, says Lorraine. Oh, that sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. And chocolate lava cake with raspberries. Oh, wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, there's a reaction. People are voting between the zucchini boat and the watermelon boat. So far, the watermelon boat is beating at the moment. Let's jump into the live chats a little bit more. I am gaining weight as watching this video. Yes, this is the video that'll put on 5 pounds on you by the end of 50 minutes, guaranteed. Yes, I like muffins, lots of them, says Rosa. There are some more muffin people. People are loving muffins in this live chat. So when we're going into the muffins, we were talking about, when you're at the market, just do the deed and just grab one of the blueberries, grab one of the raspberries, grab one of the blackberries. Let's be very honest. This is very light. This is very light. So if it says $3 a pound, it ain't a pound. It ain't half a pound. It's probably 40 cents. It is hideously light. If you don't trust me, then just put it on the scale before you go to the cash register. Because guess what? Just grabbing one extra one of these because you weren't sure if you need it for baking, it ain't going to put a dent in the wallet. It'll probably be 50 cents to $1. It's just so light because it's a light item. Now, the mangoes. If there's something on sale, grab it. Trust me. I saw these on sale and I said, oh, I love mangoes. Why are they on sale? In December? Why are they on sale? It hit us on sale. So I grabbed, I think, 6 of them and grabbed the most unripe ones because I'm buying 6. So prepare appropriately. Grab the one that is, especially if you're watching this video now and you haven't done the holiday meal, you're thinking you're doing lots of different meals, grab one that's ripe, grab one that's unripe. Grab one that you could potentially use for the New Year's Eve party, and grab one that you can potentially use for Christmas Eve, which is just a few days away. And that will give you the ability of versatility in the kitchen because you have stuff that's ripe and ready to cook with and stuff that's not ripe that you can source from in that kitchen next week as well. And there you go. Really great stuff. Advocate for fruit, right? Bob Bacon. Yes. Pick up the phone and advocate to Bernie. An apple a day, reoccurring apples every single day to keep the doctors away and keep Fox News away. Eggnog pudding. What is Wanda putting on eggnog pudding? Wait, eggnog pudding? I've never had eggnog pudding. I guess everyone else has except me. I have eggnog all the time, but never had eggnog pudding. And what are we putting on the eggnog pudding? That just sounds wonderful. We're in a festive mood. Palmyra is food. I don't know what it said. So what is eggnog pudding and what are we putting on top of it? That just sounds wonderful. Eggnog with cinnamon. No, but what is eggnog pudding and what are we putting on top of the eggnog pudding? It just sounds decadent. Just sounds out of control. In the South, we drink eggnog. I'm in LA and I drink eggnog. In fact, I was going to order eggnog to arrive right now to the studio, but I'm not used to ordering dairy for delivery, so did not get dairy for delivery. But I love it, eggnog. I guess we could do a whole episode just about eggnog. What is eggnog pudding? What do we put on the eggnog pudding? There's still people kind of still talking about the different boats covered on this video. Today's boat was, of course, the watermelon boat. A zucchini boat coming back later in another episode. Everyone is crazing some eggnog right now. By the way, hello. Hello, John. John's like, by the way, hello. Hello, how are you? Michelle, Santa Monica. Hello, how are you? I love eggnog. So we never heard what that eggnog pudding was. I'll have to look it up. And I never found out what was going on top of the eggnog pudding. I'll have to replay the video. And guess what? If you miss as well, you can watch the show always on Encore at 7 o'clock. Coming up next is 1 o'clock's afternoon show. It's a big show. And then a brand new afternoon show at 3 o'clock. Brand new with the latest developing details. You saw a little bit of it at the top of this video, which is that the recon is getting done in January. Joe Manchin's on board. He wants to add stuff to the recon. He doesn't want to remove anything, even though I think he still wants to modify stuff. And all of our stuff hasn't been added in there. So there's a lot of adding to be done in the month of January. All those details coming up at the 1 o'clock afternoon show right after this video. It'll automatically take you there. And the 3 o'clock afternoon show, brand new. Then we have a brand new 5 o'clock evening show. And if you're watching the show during the evening segment, then be part of this channel, because this show will automatically take you to the new hit show called Evenings Extra. It's at 8 o'clock every night. Up is a Calcino, which had a brand new episode 3. If you've not watched episode 3 of Calcino, it's very good. Very, very good. And with that, have a beautiful holiday. And stay informed, stay focused. Go into this video and subscribe. Like this video, consider becoming a member. Have a beautiful day. You'll next see me in just a few minutes, as this show will automatically take you to Afternoons LA if you're watching live. And if you're watching taped, it'll then take you to Evenings Extra. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening, beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.